Here I am again. It's good to see everybody. This is the Bitcoin Conference summarized. I pull out all the nuggets. I go through all the pain of watching all the sessions so you don't have to. And I wanted to get this out early because we have a lot of European watchers and they got to get to bed soon. So I try to be up by 2 o'clock every day. There are more sessions still to come because I'm in the same time zone as the conference. When I was in Miami, I could get everything out by 2 o'clock because they started 3 hours early. This time I can't. So there'll be another recap tomorrow, capturing all the key nuggets. And there's quite a bit going on. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Sean D., American Beijinger, and Linda, and everybody else. I'm a little bit hoarse today, but ignore that. Let's just plow through this. Let's pull out all these nuggets from day 2. And day 1 was a bit slow, but day 2 made up for it. And not financial advice. And thank you to KMB, hardest working content creator on Patreon. Woohoo, thank you. Now this is Bitcoin Las Vegas at the Venetian Hotel. It's a nice hotel. Lots of good stuff happening there. But let's get into the story. There's some Bitcoin news that is actually coinciding with the actual conference. And that's not a coincidence. Sometimes people wait for big announcements. So I want to get some of the big announcements out of the way first. First of all, the Trump administration, I always said the word Trump, whoops, scraps Biden admin guidance on discouraging Bitcoin investment by 401k pensions. We've noticed that there are big firms like the Schwabs, etc., Fidelity, Blackrocks, everybody except for Vanguarded, who will guard you from your Bitcoin, are jumping in whole hog. But this means now expect a lot more pension money coming. A lot of people are very traditional, very conservative, and literally, I'll try for this. Some people actually trust what government tells them to do. So if the government says, no, don't do this or get this, they'll do it. So people can be sheeple. You watching here, though, you're all legends. You know not to trust the government and do your own thing and analyze your own data. But that will bring a lot of money to Bitcoin, which is good and why we care. Also related to Bitcoin, stablecoins. Stablecoins are the fuel that drive crypto. And Blackrock, the Finkster, aka Larry Fink, just said he's going to buy 10% stake in the Circle IPO. This is big. If Blackrock have a hand in the trough or their head in the trough, you know the outcome is going to be good. So watch this one carefully. Next, James Wynne is being hunted. He has a massive perp running right now, and liquidations got super close within $300 a few minutes ago. Bitcoin's now recovering a little bit, back up above 107K. His liquidation price is 106,442, and we fell all the way down. And what's crazy is we can track all of this live, which actually would, I like to do my things kind of a little bit not in such a public eye. But anyway, wish him luck. James Wynne, add collateral. Be careful. You got so close there, buddy. Sir Winston, thank you. Long time no see. Also, add him back. And I am an ARB guy. Arbitrage is my thing. And it's good to see Adam back saying the TAM, the total addressable market for Bitcoin, is a $200 trillion in the largest arbitrage of the century. When you add up fiats around the world, you could argue it's nearly that amount. Fiat is worth about 120 trillion, but it's the credit, the debt, the bonds, 310 trillion. That's the big arbitrage opportunity as well. And for him to say that, that's huge. And a lot of bullish news is coming out at the time of this actual event, which is fantastic. Bitcoin needs a little bit of a pump because it's been weak, maybe because the market makers are hunting this guy, bringing the price down. You can't make this stuff up, but literally be paranoid. It'll help you in the long run. Also, Donald Trump Jr., the son of the US president, not only do he and his brother have a stake now, I think in Hut 8 or American Bitcoin, a mining company, but they are now seriously long Bitcoin, and they just created another $2.5 billion fund to buy Bitcoin as part of their firm as well. And he said, to the moon, as they say. So you'll notice as well at this show, everybody's kind of speaking in memes because memes are a good way to get the message across. That's why I now included for the last few months meme of the day towards the very end. We have a fun one today too. It might take you a bit by surprise. And Lummis, Cynthia Lummis, continues to pound her fist on the table. This woman is a legend, an absolute legend. And she said the US president supports the Bitcoin Act. Most Republicans report the Bitcoin Act. And the bill to buy 1 million Bitcoin could be on the floor as early as next week, everybody. They know they have to move fast. You can't wait a year to buy 1 million Bitcoin. In fact, if you try to buy 1 million Bitcoin right now, I think it's going to be pretty impossible unless you got a lot of money. And the only people that have the money to buy a Bitcoin are people with money printers. Raise your hand here if you got a money printer at your house, because I'll be over. Only kidding. Of course, only governments have money printers, but it's a good one to know. And by the way, this is the crazy thing. I'll put myself in the top left corner for this one. OTC Desk Balances. I once made a video on OTC Desk Balances. It bored the living daylights out of everybody, but it's important to know what these things are all about. Shout out to Axel Adler. This is his beautiful little chart. And basically, it points out the fact that it's worth noting that the pace at which the OTC balance is declining since September 2021, it dropped from 486,000 to 115,000 Bitcoin. That's a 4.2-fold decrease. Okay. At the current withdrawal rate of about 276 Bitcoin per day, the remaining 115,000 Bitcoin will be gone by June, July 2026. If this continues. Now remember, 100,000 Bitcoin isn't a lot. Okay. Michael Saylor has bought 2.5 times that since November. Okay. And there's one player. And we have so many more coming. I just saw Donald Trump, 2.5 billion buy coming. Vivek buy for Strive, which is Acid. We have CEP, Howard Lutnick, buy. Tether, keep on buying, perpetual bid. ETFs, pensions coming. It's a pretty nice setup, I must say. But let's continue. That is the OTC desk. And I know, by the way, I know people say, well, as the price goes up, people will sell. Yes, they will. And miners will give their Bitcoin to the OTC desks. And that's going to happen too. But still, the demand on this puppy far exceeds, I believe, the supply. Again, Saylor is buying 4,500 a week at this rate. That's big, even with the price the way it is right now, too. So, moving on. Now, Hayes at the Bitcoin Conference. He says, this one I will spend a bit of time on. His name is Arthur Hayes. He understands macro and money pretty well, but he says, I don't know what Yahtzee is. Yahtzee. Bitcoin to 1 million, but I'll try and interpret kind of what he said. And basically, he says Bitcoin price will jump a lot when the big money starts coming in. Now, he mentioned a very important point. The price is made at the margin. Okay, that's the reason I shared this previous slide, at the margin. If you have money coming in and nobody's selling and there's nothing on the OTC desks, the price will go to the moon very fast. That's just the law of supply and demand in economics, okay? If demand exceeds supply, we go higher. If demand is there and there's no supply, and the long-term holders don't sell, we go bonkers. That's just a mathematical fact of life. And that's why I'm in this and waiting patiently since 2017, since this moment. So let's go. He also mentioned, he talked about C19 money and how governments printed $6 trillion, $8 trillion in a very short window of time. And that pushed the price of Bitcoin from $7,000 to $70,000, a 10x jump. And then after C19, there was more money printing, another 8.9 trillion, tied to the policies in the new budget. So more money will be printed. And at this rate, he believes Bitcoin can easily hit 1 million, because if 4 trillion, you could argue the actual timing of the C19 money, 4 trillion, in the time frame from when C19 hit to the year and a half, 2 years later, Bitcoin did that 10x. If 4 trillion makes it do a 10x, and 8.9 trillion is coming, that can make it do a 10x again. 10 times 100K is $1 million. And again, going back in history, Bitcoin was not an asset class back then. Bitcoin didn't have treasuries other than Michael Saylor. Bitcoin was not stacked by pension funds and sovereign wealth funds. Now it's become a household name. So can you be patient? Can you wait till 2028 for $1 million easy? Well, I hope Arthur's still around to say, I told you so in 2028. That would make us all very happy. And yes, oh, by the way, jump out for a second. NVIDIA smashed earnings as we said they would. The demand for these things is insatiable all over the world, and they're doing deals now in the Middle East too. Expect good things from NVIDIA. A little breaking news there. And it's up about $6 or $7 in after hours. And Tesla is up $6 in after hours too, riding on the foothills. Remember, NVIDIA and Tesla are similar. So I just saw a question pop in there. So from Satyendra Patil, thank you for the question. Now, back to the story. Mayor Eric Adams, he is the New York City mayor. He wants to bring Bitcoin bonds to New York City. So cities need to find a way to raise money, but a lot of people don't like investing in what are called municipal bonds. However, if you've got a Bitcoin kicker on top of your bond, you might be able to attract more investment to your city. So shout out to Eric Adams, doing a little bit of financial jiu-jitsu there. I like the idea. And by the way, as I said before, last year in a video, that Bitcoin has the potential to take over the bond market. We see Saylor already doing that. And this could also bring a lot of states and even countries to issue municipal bonds to rebuild their stuff. Roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, all that good things with the Bitcoin kicker. Again, if you're in it for 3 or 4 years, no downside. So thank you as well, Foxy and Sean Donnelly and American Beijinger and K8. But moving on. Square, the company that has these little pin things, I remember, that enabled payments anywhere on a little iPhone device, are now announcing Bitcoin payments to all of their users. Again, millions and millions of users now can accept Bitcoin payments. And you can try it out before it goes live as well. And that will also be there to try set up a world record for the amount of Bitcoin payments done in one day with the Guinness Book of World Records or something like that. That's what they're trying to do. So shout out to Square. Square is kind of like a Bitcoin native company from the early days and are doing a lot of interesting things. But the stock hasn't been doing too well. But hopefully that will rebound somehow in the near future. Next, Sachs and the Winklevii twins. This is David Sachs, the AI and crypto czar. A lot of talk. But I only invest in 2 things, AI and crypto, since 2022. Now, one of the biggest themes of this conference was like brilliant. It's like, yes, everybody's saying Bitcoin and AI, AI and Bitcoin. Woo, they're together. It's beautiful. The 2 biggest narratives you could possibly happen are now holding hands, and the world realizes it. Again, nothing by chance. Be in those 2 narratives, absolutely critical. But they did mention a couple of things, a couple of quick notes here on the importance of this little talk. One, they talked about the US president embracing crypto, which is big from the top down. They spoke about the dinner they had in San Francisco. Hello, San Francisco. And talking about how at the time you had Gary Gensler that had open hostility towards all things crypto. You had the Operation Choke Point 2.0, which literally the Winklevii twins spoke about a story where they were down to their last wiring facility, wiring bank and ACH bank. They cannot run Gemini without the ability to move money. They were hanging by a thread. They nearly died because of Choke Point 2.0. And they said, shout out to Pocahontas, whoever she is, anybody, if you drop a comment below, Faux Kahontas. Sounds like an Indian name. Anyway, they were not very happy with her for whatever reason. And they said Bitcoin is a US asset, the SBR. Okay, they got 200,000 Bitcoin in the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and they're going to try add another 1 million or 800,000 and this will also support government Bitcoin purchases and acceptances, maybe for tax and other things. And wow, can you imagine if they make Bitcoin tax-free, which some states are trying to do that right now as well. And then new crypto laws upcoming laws, the stablecoin bill, all that good stuff, clarifies rules, makes on-ramps so much easier. It's coming and it's huge, and they were all very excited. And then they did talk a little bit about gold 2.0. Bitcoin is the new gold 2.0. We know that. So a little bit of stating the obvious there. But then the energy for crypto and AI. They want to boost policies to help U.S. energy and data centers support not only Bitcoin mining, but also AI. And they are investing about $3 trillion in Gulf investments to make that happen. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. But I always find it so funny that all of a sudden the narrative of, oh, Bitcoin mining is going to boil the ocean, which we call BS from day one here, is gone. Because if anything's going to boil the ocean, it'll be AI. But AI is necessary. You cannot not embrace it. I always say embrace or die. They are the alternatives. You embrace AI or you die. You pick. You pick. That's it. And most of the Bitcoin mining is actually done in the US anyway. So as I say as well, if mankind needs energy, they'll always find a way to find it. But I'm so happy to hear the narrative of AI and crypto being out there so much at this conference. So that was a big exciting point for me. Now, Lord Saylor is in the room. He did a Q&A session. And as usual, he always has very interesting things to say. No slideware, but he did talk about how some things have changed. One, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are not going to become a Bitcoin bank, which means not going to be lending and stuff like that. They just want to build smart Bitcoin products, like what they're trying to do going after the credit market with Stripe and Stark and so much more. And they are all in on Bitcoin. Saylor believes it's Bitcoin only. It beats the stock market every time. And he's mixing in other assets as well. And he said, there's no point in adding to Bitcoin. It's like watering down a drink. It ruins the kick and limits the ability to offer Bitcoin financial products. So Bitcoin only, which is great news. We knew that anyway. And they spoke a bit about memes as well. And there's too much information right now. He spoke about, I call it the ADD world, the TikTok world. People can only cope with 60 seconds of stuff. That's why if you want to get the message across, everybody, think in terms of memes. You know, his famous one is HFSP, there's no second best. It's going up forever, Laura, on a CNBS video. All that good stuff. They are the things that remain in people's minds. And he said it's like bumper stickers, and they spread Bitcoin's message first. So expect more memes from Michael Saylor. He also spoke about flexibility, and it keeps MicroStrategy strong. I call that financial jujitsu from day one, all the creative things that they're doing. And they're not stuck in a very rigid world. They can do whatever they want and get creative. And he spread a new term as well, which I heard from him, is the world's new money backbone, I think it was. He described it as a savings tool, the core of global finance. By the way, David Sachs said something very similar, the core of global finance. They're all preaching from the same hymn book, and will be a trusted way to settle big, big transactions worldwide. I've been talking about oil, the Bitcoin, the Petro Bitcoin for the longest time. That could be coming too. It's probably already happening behind the scenes. We just don't know it yet. And also, these three, the Winklevii twins and Michael Saylor, we're talking about how AI will supercharge Bitcoin. Saylor thinks that AI will replace tons of jobs and make digital money king. And as AI creates massive wealth, Bitcoin will soak it up because it's the fastest, most secure way for computers to trade value in a digital world. I'll step out again. What are the two narratives you need to be in? Crypto and AI. If you are saving yourself. Very important. Write that down. Write that down in your mirror so you see it every time before you go to bed and you're brushing your teeth. And no one can control Bitcoin. Woohoo. And there's no such thing as owning too much Bitcoin. So there was the big 7 items I picked up from Michael Saylor. I'm seeing a crazy number of views. There must be a mistake here. There's no way 43,000 people are watching this. If they are, fun. And speaking of Michael Saylor too, there was a little bit of how do I say, anger. You know, he needs to be able to share his wallets. He doesn't for security risks. About 2 weeks ago, I did exactly that. I shared how the dangers of exposing your actual wallets. You basically create a honeypot for hackers, and many other reasons why it's not really required. And the fact that behind the scenes, they have auditors and financial controls and all sorts of things that make sure that they do have their bags. But Arkham allegedly have strategy and their Bitcoin bag up. They do track wallets. They track movements from Coinbase Prime and other places. So we'll see if that is the case. Something really weird is happening with the actual view count here. So there's no way 70,000 people are watching this. That'd be crazy if it's happening. It is. Wow. Anyway, we'll keep on going. That'd be the biggest video. It'd be like the 100,000 Bitcoin party. But moving on, JD Vance, Bitcoin Keynote. JD is a person that we can all learn an awful lot from. And he also jumped on the bandwagon and spoke about some other things that I think are so important for us all to know. First of all, he did say, this is a movement. He mentioned the term before I get into the nitty gritty. He did mention it's a movement, and we will soon have 100 million Americans owning Bitcoin. There are about 340 million Americans, give or take 10 million, depending on how they are, where they are. But 100 million seems a bit light. But he did say soon 100 million Americans own Bitcoin. I know that we need more than that. But either way, it's a good start. A lot of the high net worth people are definitely owning it. But his points were very interesting too. He said a movement, not just a conference. And he was very excited to be there, and with all his Secret Service as well. And he talked about, again, the Trump administration supports crypto, working to undo all of the very restrictive policies from Gary Gensler and others, clear rules for stablecoins with the Genius Act, and the mainstreaming of crypto, which is huge. The administration wants to be a pro-innovation regulatory framework to make digital assets like Bitcoin a core part of the US economy. And if you're watching the video, hit subscribe. I won't waste your time, but I'll always share good information. Crypto is a hedge. Also, he said a hedge against bad government. I was so crazy to see a government official get up there and say, you need Bitcoin as a hedge against us. Good, bad, indifferent government. I thought that was a really, really cool thing to say as well. And what else? He said it's very important for dealing with adversaries as well, like China as well. And one thing I thought was kind of cool, you got to stay politically active. Again, going back to the term movement, everybody needs to keep engaging, not only in crypto and politics, to help protect the industry as they did in 2024. This industry could have been killed very easily if it wasn't for vocal people having other people to dinners in San Francisco. And then crypto and AI connection again, third time, crypto and AI. He suggests the crypto community should pay attention to artificial intelligence developments as AI because they will impact each other and they're crucial for the future of the United States. Once again, crypto and AI, write that down. Absolutely so important. Finally, what else do you say? Community involvement. Okay. Get involved, educate, help people be aware of what's coming, be aware of the tsunami of AI that's coming to maybe change some people's lives, and also embrace personal freedom. Build your own life raft. So they were the big 9 points from JD Vance that I picked up on. If I miss any points, anybody, drop them in the comment below. And yeah, for some reasons, 190,000 people watching this video. No idea why, but it's good if there are. And don't forget to, I never asked for a subscriber. I've never had so many viewers either. So something's going on with this. Anyway, it might just be a glitch in the matrix. GameStop. Guess who orange pilled GameStop? Michael Saylor. Yep. They just bought nearly 5,000 Bitcoin. So these two players alone, in the space of 2 days, bought nearly 9,000, over 9,000 Bitcoin between them. 9,000. Remember, only 450 being mined a day. Two players, and there's more coming, a lot more. The floodgates are about to open, ladies and gentlemen. Super exciting time. And of course, Bitcoin and Bitcoin-Cybertrucks hand in hand, again, goes back to AI, energy, autonomy, movement of money, security, independence, freedom. It's all here in this golden symbolism as well in Las Vegas, California. But there was also some weird stuff as well. The conference wasn't exactly perfect, But there was one fellow, Brian Johnson. He did say that if you sleep more, you make more Bitcoin. Okay. Personally, I sleep very little and I work very hard. And I think that should be the message to make more Bitcoin. I can't see how me sleeping more will make more Bitcoin. Anyhow, moving on. And it's also, this could be construed as the meme of the day. There is a fellow here selling gold at the Bitcoin conference, but he's all alone. But at least he can catch up with his TikTok, which is good. So it's so bizarre. Can you imagine going to a Bitcoin conference and then trying to sell? It's like going to, I don't know, an exotic. Well, my analogies are very bad. I'll just leave it there. It'll be hard to sell gold at a Bitcoin conference with the new digital gold. Now, tomorrow, there will be more to come. There's some events happening. Safety is coming. He's always brilliant, and a whole bunch of others. I'll be doing another recap tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to get smarter. Again, the big thing you take away from this video, 2 things matter: Bitcoin/crypto and AI. Okay? Position yourselves. Very, very important. Thank you all for coming, everybody. Appreciate everybody for being here. I have no idea what's going on with the views, but something is glitchy in the matrix. Actually, while I'm here, let me just check. Yeah, 250,000 people. How is that even possible? Anyway, we'll move on. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay safe.